Hey guys, welcome to Tapsules. This is the third video on basics of robotics and robotic automations. And in this video, we learn about actuators, sensors and transducers. So, let's get started. Now we start with the third video on basics of robotics and robotic automations. And in this video, we learn about actuators, sensors and transducers. And before starting with this topic, I would like to introduce you to a very basic component in circuit building, which is a breadboard. Folderless breadboard, also known as a blackboard, is a construction base for prototyping of electronics. Now, prototyping is building and testing of circuits. It's the trial and error of circuits. And the features provided by the breadboards are it gives non-permanent connection, and which in turns gives you the feature of easy plug-in and plug-out. Like you build up circuits, and if your circuit doesn't work, you can rearrange them in the perfect order, the order you want, in the order they work in. The second feature that it gives is it's easy to handle and it's less messy because it doesn't need any soldering. And it's cheap, reusable and comes in many variants. You can see full size, half size and mini size. And you can see these clips in the picture. These clips are the components beneath these holes which hold the component which are plugged in, which gives them a firm grip. Now, if you would like to learn more about connections in breadboard, I would suggest you to refer to the bonus video on connections in breadboard, whose link is given in the description below. Now we start with actuators, sensors and transducers. So I'll just give you a quick and really simple definition of each and every term, which is actuators, sensors and transducers. So we start with actuators. Now, what are actuators? The components of a robot which are responsible for its movement or the locomotion of the robot are actuators. Like if we build a robot and the actuators are, for example, legs to a human. The legs to a human are its actuators. So in a similar manner, if you build up a radio controlled car, then the wheels, the motors who act as the wheels, which act as the wheels, are its actuators. Now, for example, the brushless motors, as you can see in the picture, the picture above is of a brushless motor. A pneumatic jack or a hydraulic, which you can see in the picture below, an electric rod style actuator. It's a pneumatic jack. And these are responsible for the locomotion of the robot. The arrangement that you see here is an actuator arrangement, and it consists of a battery, a potentiometer, a multimeter and a DC motor. So what it does, it draws the current from the battery, and the current is regulated by the potentiometer here, the dial, and the potential difference or the resistance is measured from the multimeter, and the circuit completes with a DC motor, and this DC motor moves its axis with the help of the electric current, and it locomotes the robot. So now we start simulation. We'll see with maximum resistance we have the slowest speed, because more will be the resistance and less will be the current that is offers, and less will be the speed. So if we reach the minimum resistance, we'll see the maximum speed with 19,669 RPM, rotations per minute. So this was example of actuator. Now we come on to sensors. What are sensors? Any device or a subsystem which acts as the input sensing module to provide input in order to initiate any specific function is called a sensor. Like a sensor acts as the input device for a robot. Like it senses the input, it senses its surrounding, and according to it, it manipulates the working and it gives a favorable output. And for example, if you see in the picture below, it's an IR sensor, infrared sensor, and if you build up a obstacle avoiding car, it's used in it, and it senses the proximity or the nearest of an obstacle and gives you the signals, and you can adjust its course accordingly. So this here is known as a PIR sensor. Its working is it senses the movement of objects in a particular arrangement of area. Like if we start simulation here, we'll see that if we click it here, this is the area of detection. This is the area that it sweeps, it sees, and if we move anything in its area, you will see the module, you will see the sensor glowing. This means that there's movement in this area, and this in turn you will see completes the circuit. So what are transducers? A device that changes a form of energy into another form of energy or an electrical signal, or a vice versa, is called a transducer. For example, a digital spring balance, you can see that it converts physical weight into electrical energy, and it gives output on a digital screen. A strain gauge, which you can see in the picture above, it measures the strain in a rod of iron, made up of iron or a wire, and it converts strain into magnetic waves and into from that into electrical energy. And an LED, for example, is a light emitting diode, and it converts electrical signals or electrical energy into photoelectric energy or light energy. So these are transducers. And now we'll see example of a transducer. Now this one is a really complex one. And transducer, you can see a power supply unit here, three power supply units, and you can see two potentiometers here, which will read the current or the resistance or the voltage of this current that is provided. And you will see some resistors and IC that will give you the reading. So now if we start with the simulation, now this is giving like 10 volts of voltage, 15 volts and 15 volts. You can see how the electrical energy is converted into magnetic signals, and these magnetic signals are again converted into electrical signals that are displayed on the screens. So here we can see three conversions of energy, which are electrical to magnetic waves and magnetic waves to again electrical waves, electrical signals. So this is the conversion of energy from one form of energy to another form of energy. So this we can say is a transducer. Now we have come to the end of this video. In the next video, we'll start a new project with circuit building and simulation on Tinkercad. If you liked the video, please do subscribe our channel and follow us on various social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. So till then, see you in the next video.